In the last video, I began the process of one by one isolating my hens so I could figure out who the egg-eating chicken or chickens are and probably call that chicken or chickens. The first hen that I isolated, she has laid an egg in this chicken tractor. Yesterday in our walk-in chicken coop, I did notice that I had an egg that had been eaten. So I do know for sure that there still is an egg-eating chicken in there. So either I have multiple egg-eating chickens or I haven't found her yet. Now I'm just gonna wait to see what this hen does today with that egg, and then if she doesn't eat it, I'll probably go ahead and put her back in the chicken coop and swap her for another hen. Come in, puppy. The additional plot of corn that we recently planted is getting tall enough now where I'm a little more concerned about deer getting in here and messing with it. Although this time of year, middle of summer, there's plenty of things for the deer to munch on in the woods, but that doesn't mean that they won't investigate your corn. So definitely not a risk I want to take by leaving only these two bottom strands on here. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 or 3 more additional strands. You can tell it's gonna be a hot one today. I'm already missing that cool Canadian air coming down on us that we had last week. As much as we would really like to be out working on our goat infrastructure project, the garden really needs us. The first round of corn that we planted is tall enough now that it needs to be mulched, and I still need to thin it. And that is a huge undertaking because we're trying to mulch this garden very heavy because our clay soil is so bad that anything we can do at this stage to improve it needs to be done. Everything in the garden is looking pretty good, except for, as I've said before, the upper section of the garden kind of up here definitely has worse soil conditions than down there. Some of the tomatoes and bean plants and things down there look absolutely fantastic. I do think there's going to have to be like a focused effort on improving the soil at this upper end of the garden. I've shown previously how we've seeded our corn with our earthway seed spreader, and for the most part I like it, with some caveats. And keep in mind, some of the issues that I have with it might be because of our heavy clay soil. I haven't used it in wonderful soil before, so it might work a whole lot better. The first issue of overseeding is it does tend to space the corn about every 4 to 6 inches. But a lot of times it drops more than one seed. So where I might just have one plant, I end up with 5 or more. It's kind of weird. And sometimes it's like if I hit a bump on the ground or something, more seed comes out than it's supposed to, and I'm not really sure why that would be happening. And then the second issue is other times it's almost like it just gets jammed or it doesn't pick up a seed, and it might leave a large gap that no seed gets dropped. Another thing with the earthway seed spreader, if you're not using it in really nice fine soil, is it has a thing in the front of it that's basically supposed to like cut a trench in your soil, then drop the seed, and then a chain that comes behind it and covers the seed up. If you're working in heavy clay soil, it's unlikely that that system is going to work like that. For one, it's not going to cut a trench. and it's not going to cover it up, at least not reliably. So those are things to take into consideration. However, I will continue using it because for seeding a large area, it still just makes sense. And knowing like the problems with using it, you just work around that. It is really hot today. Mulching all of that corn was a whole lot of work, but I was really glad Glenn was here to help me because I was hoping to have it done in 4 hours, and we were actually, between the two of us, able to get it done in like 4.5 hours. But it's mulched super heavy, and I'm really, really excited to see if this will help our garden. Surely it'll help. There's still a whole lot of corn left to mulch in the garden, but it's just not tall enough yet to really get that mulch in there nice and thick. Checking in with Mama and her little baby chicks, and this side of the fence is that welded wire, and they can just pop in and out of it. And hopefully it won't be long before they can't do that because they keep venturing further and further away from Mama. So far still, they're all doing really well. The only little yellow chick out of the 7 chicks is the one that's the most bravest, and he ventures the furthest away from Mama. And me and Glenn keep saying if any of them get eaten, it's going to be that one. Chickens are going to bed, so I want to swap around these hens. Well, lady, I think you're gonna get out of jail. Well, the problem is that I have to catch her. And it's hard to get her out of this coop. Alright. Okay. I'm gonna put a zip tie on her leg. That way I know I've already tested her in the chicken tractor for being an egg eater, and she passed the test. All right, who is next? Test number 2. Are you gonna pass the test? Are you the egg eater? All right. You better pass the test, lady. Oh man, today was a busy day, but getting that corn done today was such a huge accomplishment. I know there's more coming, but you gotta start somewhere.